Hello and welcome back to Quilty Gaming, and today we're going to be playing a demo for Stories from Saul the Gundog. So, Stories from Saul the Gundog is an adventure game published by Astrolabe Games in 2025, and it's rated teen for alcohol reference, fantasy violence, language, and mild blood. I saw this in the Nintendo eShop, and it's got some pretty decent pixel graphics, so I thought we'd check it out. I have no idea what type of game it is, but hopefully it's fun. Alright. Let's go start. Okay, September 21st, Planetary Calendar 209. Following a raft of oppressive policies, crackdowns from the Earth-based government from the Solar Federation, the joint forces of the Martian territories and the Jovian Unified Colony Fleet rebelled. The conflict came to be known as the Solar War. The war carried on for 3 years, but eventually the combined forces of the Martian territories and Jovian Unified Colony Fleet managed to push the Federation military all the way back to planet Earth. In the final days of the conflict, a pitched battle was fought in lunar orbit that would decide the war's victor. Lunar orbit, aboard the Jovian carrier JFS Kalki. You reflexively tighten your grip on your armored frame's twin flight sticks as another wave of vibrations reverberates through the cockpit. The creak of your new flight suit and your quickening breath are the only sounds that you hear above the gentle hum of the frame's subsystems. As you squeeze the controllers tighter, their plastic casings creak under the pressure. You try and stay calm, knowing that these gentle vibrations are remnants of huge shockwaves that are buffeting the Kalki, the carrier that you're stationed on. Each one is a near miss as an explosion tears through the space around the ship. You try to push the thought from your mind and focus on controlling your breathing, but you've already realized that their frequency means the Kalki must be approaching the front line. Your squadron will be launching soon, and you'll be engaging in your first real sortie, your first real flight, in fact. You feel your throat tighten. Simulations are as good as the real thing. That's what your trainer told you all. Okay. But you know that the pilots are supposed to have hundreds of hours of live flights and training exercises in real armored frames before they're allowed anywhere near the front lines. Of course, that didn't happen. Command had told you that the modern simulators meant cadets could graduate without the need for these exercises. Oh. You'd overheard the rumors, though. The Jovian Colony Fleet had lost a lot of pilots and still, wanting to keep pace with the Martian advance against Earth, had resorted to fielding anyone who could fight. Your whole squadron is just like you. Oh. Freshly conscripted from the Europa colony. You'd undergone basic training there, but almost all of your flight training had taken place on the cruiser's journey from Jovian space. You wonder how the others are feeling right now, whether... Oh, okay. Maintenance crew, Kalki 5, this is flight deck. We're preparing your squad for takeoff, running last-minute diagnostics on your frame. Activating all systems. Now. Oh, okay. Decent music. Maintenance crew. Alright, looks all good to go. We'll run a few more checks and then we'll have your spaceborne in a few minutes. You ready to show these Terrans who's boss? Sure. Yeah, can't wait to get out there. I'm gonna, you stammer, trying your best to convince, not the engineer, but yourself, that you're ready for what's waiting for you. Whoa, take a breath in there, Kalki 5. It's not gonna be that bad out. No need to get all riled up in here in the hangar. Tell you what, pilot, what's your name? Okay, what's our name? Well, go with Quill. That change anything? Oh, what's your surname? Pig. And your pronouns? Okay. Yeah. Okay, Ensign Pig, first up, take a few deep breaths for me. In and out, nice and slow. You got that? Okay. Draw in one long measured breath and hold it, then release it. Following the engineer's instructions, you repeat this a few more times. After a while, you begin to feel your pulse slow and some of the tension in your body slip away. You feel on edge, but slightly more in control. Alright, there we go. Now listen up, Ensign. You ain't got a thing to worry about out there. The way I heard it is that all the Terran's best pilots were taken care of between here and Mars. Heck, Martians are the ones who've been leading the charge today, so they're the ones taking all the flak. Propaganda machines selling this as our decisive strike against Earth's last line of defense. But between you and me, it ain't nothing more than a mopping up situation. Buddy Mine in Operation said as much in the canteen last night. Besides, you hear a dull ring over the comms and sit bolt upright in your seat, slouching back and exhaling as you realize it's nothing more than the engineer striking the cockpit armor in your frame. This beauty here's a work of art. Terran Frames ain't got nothing on her. She's all tuned up and ready to go. Probably spent more time with this one than I have with my own kid. Ha! So don't you worry. Remember what they taught you in training and leave the rest up to her, and you'll come out of this just fine. Despite your startled reaction a moment ago, the engineer's confidence is infectious, and it's starting to rub off on you. You adjust your position in your seat so that you're sat up straight, and the soft hum of the frame system now seems more comforting than ominous. Just a mopping up operation, you think. Martians have done all the work, so we're sitting pretty up here in our top-of-the-line frames. Yeah, nothing to worry about. So, Ensign Pig, how are you feeling about things now? Feeling good, ready to go. Yeah, I'm ready to get out there and, yeah. You declare, channeling your newly tapped well of confidence. That's the spirit, Ensign. Now hang on to that, and we'll have you out these hangar doors and kicking Terrans around in no time. Left alone with your thoughts, you tune back into the gentle hum of the frame. You watch the seconds tick away on the cockpit clock whilst you wait for the order to launch. The wait seems to drag on and on. You carry out a few last-minute flight checks, but as you'd already completed them when you boarded, nothing has changed. Alright, pilots, listen up. This is Calgi 1. We've been cleared for launch, so be ready for immediate action. All frames will be taking off in designation order. Attack formation, sound off. Calci 2, ready. Calci 3, ready. Calci 4 here, ready for takeoff. Calci 5, confirm your status. Oh yeah, Calci 5, standing by. Keep it together, Calci 5. Calci 6, ready. Alright, Calci Squadron, move out. Oh, okay. Calci 1 launching, Calci 2 launching, Calci 3 launching, Calci 4 moving out. Ooh. Okay. The roll call of your squadron as they depart the ship and accelerate rapidly towards the combat zone. Sounds almost like a countdown to you. Once Calci 4 has declared their launch, you know your time has come. You disengage the restraints and prepare yourself. Calci 5 launching. You shout as you slam the flight sticks forward for maximum thrust. Whoa. Okay, did something. Calci 5, abort launch, cut thrusters. Calci 5, abort launch, cut thrusters. The engineer's instructions barely register in the confusion as you're jerked around the cockpit, your helmet slamming on the control panels. A brief moment of thrust throws you back into your seat before you're whipped forward again. Warnings flash all over your monitors and sirens and alerts sound from all over the cockpit. Calci 5, abort launch, and cut thrusters. It takes a few seconds for you to comprehend the engineer, but once you do, you quickly pull the flight sticks back to their neutral position. The roar of your frame engine dies and your cockpit regains its previous stillness. You wince as the metallic taste of blood fills your mouth. You're going to need to run a diagnostic. Shouldn't take too long. You slump in the cockpit's chair and exhale deeply, your heart still pounding 1,000,000 beats per minute and your lips stinging. You continue your slow breathing as you listen to the still open communication channel from the maintenance crew as they work to get your frame released. Hell yeah, looks like the restraint disengage command didn't register. Yeah, Unit 5. Alright, yeah. Get Unit 6 out, no sense waiting for this one. Okay, start the diagnostic, then reboot if necessary. Calci 6, launching. Okay, so that's what we look like. What do you mean hardware fault? Check this 10 times since Mars at least. Who's assigned Unit 5? Oh, for... Fine, right. Shut down systems and run the diagnostic again. Want this frame out there in the next 5 minutes. Calci 5, we're going to shut down your frame systems for a moment so we can run diagnostics. Stay ready though. We'll have you launching soon. Calci 5, understood. Ready and waiting. As your cockpit fades to darkness again, you release the flight sticks and suddenly realize just how long you've been clenching your fists around them. You flex your fingers and roll your shoulders, exhaling again as you begin to hear the muffled sounds of the engineers working on your frame's restraints. Staring at the dead monitor, you slowly begin to smile. This is what you wanted, wasn't it? You'd spent so long worrying about the mission that you'd thrown up twice in the past 24 hours, and now it looks like that was all for nothing. You'd got what you wanted, and you were safe. Safe as you can be, strapped to the outside of a military carrier in an inactive armored frame anyway. Your smile widens inadvertently at that thought. Getting shot down in an inactive frame, still in its restraints, you'd become a cautionary tale for engineers and pilots throughout the entire Jovian colony fleet. Your mind turns quickly to the rest of your squadron. When they return, you'd be the laughingstock of the entire Kalki. The pilot who'd spent the entire first mission stuck in a dark cockpit. You dodged a bullet, but you'd never... It's Kalki 6. They've cut off the flight path. There's more. There's a whole squadron of carriers coming in from E-Field. Kalki 1, they're going to cut you off from the fleet. Kalki 6 signal disappearing as you sit bolt upright. As you begin pressing buttons trying to activate your cockpit's main monitor so you can see what's going on. However, with your frame system shut down remotely by the maintenance crew, you can do nothing but sit in the dark stillness and listen to events unfold. Kalki 6, respond, Kalki 6, what's going on? How many carriers are coming from E-Field? Ma'am, Kalki 6 signal has been lost. It's not responding. Hold it together, Kalki 4. All units form up. Defensive formation on me. I said all units. Kalki 2, don't break formation. Ma'am, they're firing on us. So many of them. Oh god, ma'am, help. In an instant, your communications channels flood with cries of terror and panic. You hear squad mates, your fellow pilots, exclamations of fear as the unexpected enemy force bears down on them. Screams and yelps, wails and howls fill your head as you sit powerless in the dark confines of your cockpit. Hey, who's out there? Engineering. Hey, get me ready. I can help. Get me ready to launch. Engineering. You're getting killed out there. I need to go, now. You shout demands to get your frame ready for launch over the channel, but are met with no response. In the dark of the cockpit with your controls unresponsive, you can't be sure whether the channel is closed or if no one's listening, with all attention turned to receiving the battle-damaged units from your squad. Listen to me. Anyone, get me out there. You desperately begin attempting a manual override of your systems, but find nothing responds to you. The only spark of light that you can glean from your frame is a small diagnostics progress bar. I need to be out there. Anyone. Hey. In one last desperate attempt, you begin hammering on your cockpit walls, hoping to get the attention of engineers you could hear outside earlier. The entire time, the chaos of combat out in space is narrated to you in broken fragments of radio chatter. There's 3, 4, on me. I've lost my shield. I can't shake them. They're everywhere. The line of retreat's totally cut off. We can't get back to the ship. Ma'am, what do we do? Stop panicking and form up. 3 and 4, on me. We're gonna punch a hole through their formation and... Ma'am, come in. Ma'am. Oh no. Oh god, no. One by one, your squad signals disappear, and the cacophony of panic disappears, replaced by the gentle hiss of static. You stop hammering on the side of your cockpit as the last voice is cut off. You're drenched in cold sweat now, and your empty stomach feels like a rock has sunk to the bottom of it. You lean back and stare blankly ahead. This is Kalki 5. Ready for takeoff. September 21st, Planetary Calendar 209. Despite last-minute reinforcements for the Solar Federation from their headquarters on Earth, the battle above Lunar is a victory for the joint Martian and Jovian forces. This would be the final battle of the Solar War. Having lost their last stronghold on Lunar, the Solar Federation would agree to a ceasefire and sign an armistice to end hostilities. An uneasy peace fills the solar system. With the conflict between the Solar Federation and the Martian-Jovian alliance concluded, the Kalki and her crew soon returned to the Europa colony near Jupiter. April 19th, Planetary Calendar 214. The reduced need for pilots away from delicate space between Earth and Mars saw Ensign Pig reassigned to security detail aboard various Jovian ships. He is eventually promoted to lieutenant. 4 years have passed since the battle above Lunar. The Jovian colony fleet, fearing fresh aggression from Earth, has increased patrols near its colonies after picking up unusual signals coming from further out in the solar system. The patrol ship JFS Gundog is dispatched to support the JFS O'Brien in its investigation of these signals. Jovian space. Aboard the Jovian patrol ship JFS Gundog. As the rumble of the Gundog's engines roaring to life reverberates through the ship, you clench your fists. It's been 4 years, and to this day, the sensation of tremors, whether they're ship engines, docking clamps, or weapon drills, still ties your stomach into knots. A bad trait for a ship's security officer. You shake your head and exhale slowly, taking a moment before stowing the last of your possessions and pushing the drawer closed. You feel the click as it locks into place, and the exterior plastic paneling sits completely flush with its surroundings. Stepping back, you look around the room. You take another deep breath and hold it for a moment. Although this was far from your first posting as a security officer, you always felt the same sense of trepidation, if not anxiety. As similar as all the ships were, they all came with their own unique crews and personalities, and with those came unique problems. Breathing out, you take a look around the room, taking stock of your surroundings. Okay, select the Look button to examine your surroundings by selecting items of interest. Select it again when you're done. Look. Okay. Standard door with electronic lock and magnetic bolting system. The only way in or out unless you plan on getting creative with maintenance tunnels. Okay. This terminal lets me access the ship's computer. It's got a clock, a word processor, and even a calendar. I can also access records and my orders from here, but for anything else I'd need access to the core, which is limited to those in operations or command. This lets me control the room's lighting near the bed. I keep my books here too. I'm currently reading Tales of the Cosmic Champion series. Just a normal storage unit. I travel light, so mine only has clothes in it. Standard cruise bunk. When you slept in one, you slept in them all. Although this one's one of the nicer ones I've been assigned to. The wall panel can be removed by jimmying it with a thin object, and crew members often stash contraband in there. Looks like this one's not been touched though. Okay. Select the Use button to interact with your surroundings by selecting specific objects to use them. Select the button again when you're done. Okay. Use. Looks like I've been instructed to report to the bridge and meet the captain. I haven't met anyone yet since my transport to the spaceport ran late, and I just about made it aboard. And I just about made it on board before launch. Select the Move button to move to a different location from the list of options. You can change your mind to select the button again. Okay. Move. Crew quarters. Corridor 1. You step out into the empty corridor, and the door to your quarters gently hisses shut behind you. Its keypad gives a short series of beeps, and you hear the lock engage. Dual thrum of the ship's systems is barely audible, but otherwise you are stood in total silence. The air is cooler outside your quarters, and the corridor has a sterile lack of aroma. It's been the same on every ship you've been stationed on, and this point doesn't surprise you. Okay, so this is a Swift-class patrol vessel, which means if I leave this quarters block, I'll be in the foreside thoroughfare. If I go right towards the aft, I'll arrive in the central hub, and then I can head to the bridge. Okay. Move. Thoroughfare. Leave the crew block behind you and find yourself in a much larger corridor. It stretches off to your left and with multiple smaller corridors leading from it. To your right, the corridor leads to a large plaza-like space. A very faint breeze coming from your left ruffles your hair and chills you slightly, and you hear the sounds of human activity. From the right, you can hear the hum of the ship's engines more clearly now, as well as the occasional low, quiet whirring sound. Looks like I was right. This portion of the thoroughfare will let me access both sets of crew quarters, the mess hall, the hangar, and the central hub. From there, I can access the rest of the ship's areas. I should hurry up to meet the captain before I look around anywhere else. Okay, move. Central hub. As you enter the central hub, you hear a low whirring noise, and the engines grow louder. You can see the readouts above one of the elevators change, letting you know someone is using it to travel to another part of the ship. Looking around, you can see the entrances to both the fore and aft side thoroughfares, as well as the corridor to the airlocks. These elevators will take me to the bridge where the captain will be. I shouldn't waste any more time. Bridge. Knowing that you need to report to the captain, who at this point of the ship's journey should be stationed on the bridge, you make your way towards the elevators and press the call button. You step back and watch the indicators above each elevator, waiting for one to arrive. As you wait, your mind begins to wander, and you're caught unawares as you feel something suddenly jab in your back, and a voice from behind you declares, "Hands in the air, identify yourself." Your posture stiffens as you snack back to reality, caught completely off guard by the voice behind you. Thoughts race through your mind as you try to figure out what's going on. Could there already be another security detail on board? That shouldn't be possible. As far as you knew, you were the only one, unless... I said hands in the air, punk. You tentatively raise your hands, palms flat and facing forwards, as whatever's been thrust in the small of your back is removed slowly, and you hear the person behind you take a step backwards. You exhale and begin to turn around. Lieutenant Pig, Security Detail ID SO254JFSG. I'm on my way to meet the captain to... Where you'd been expecting a gruff crew member, instead you're met with a bright and cheery officer waving a pen around with a large smile on her face. You're taken aback for a moment, as this isn't just any officer, this is... Cassie, what are you... Quill, I've missed you so much. You big doofus. You should have seen your face when you turned around. You were all... I love that face you make when you think you're in trouble. It's like you think playing the big soldier will get you out of trouble. It's so cute. Lieutenant Commander Cassandra Quinn. You should have known, really. She's always been one for bad jokes and stupid pranks as long as you've known her. Her less than professional attitude and penchant for irresponsibility is the reason why, despite her talent, she's not commanding a ship of her own. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how good did I get you? You totally thought you were being busted, right? But if you're being honest, her playful nature is what attracted you to her in the first place. You've been dating for nearly 2 years now, but a lot of it has been over electronic mail or in letters. Your postings have never lined up until now. Cassie, what are you doing here? I thought you were stationed on the Reliant. You never said you were being transferred. What happened? Well, the thing about it is, you might say I had a disagreement with the head of operations on the Reliant led to a lateral trajectory for my career. Cassandra, please. Okay, so maybe when it came time to change the ship's cybersecurity passwords, I shouldn't be bothered to spend all day sitting in the computer core, waiting for it to generate new code, so I just changed all the existing passwords by a single digit. You place your face in your hands as a dull groan raises from the back of your throat. This isn't the first time you've heard a story like this. And maybe it turns out when they run the cybersecurity drills, they assume that the enemy have all your old passwords, so try brute forcing from those. And maybe that meant the ship was compromised in 0.5 seconds. But at least they found out I'd done it in a drill and not in real engagement, right? I basically saved the entire ship in advance. I'm surprised you're still even stationed on the ship. How are you not stuck back in a records room at Europa Colony right now? Well, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but if I can't trust you, who can I trust? Turns out this mission was organized at really short notice, and the Gundog was the only ship available. The problem was that they'd been having issues with the crew, so they had to transfer some in short notice. Lucky for me that I'd so recently been made available. That's weird. I'd only just been stationed on the Duke, so I shouldn't have been free to be transferred. Okay, you figured it out. I may have used one of my contacts from the Academy who works in Resource to transfer you over here. I'm pretty sure you know every regulation you broke by doing that. Oh, what was I supposed to do? Get stationed to some tiny ship heading out to the middle of nowhere with no one I know on the crew? We haven't seen each other in months. Are you glad to see me? Of course I'm glad to see you. I missed you too, you know? It's been a long time. You don't become part of the Reliance Operations Department without some serious talent. I'm not going anywhere. Oh, you said you were on your way to see the captain, right? You had a chance to take a look around the ship yet? No, not yet. I was going to. Great, I'll show you around. I've been here a few days, so I basically know the ship like the back of my hand. Where do you want to go first? I was on my way to see the captain. I felt the engines start up, so I know we're launching soon, and I thought I should probably report in as soon as possible. Oh, don't worry about that. I've already logged you on board, so it's just a formality now. Besides, Captain Bartermuse isn't exactly a stickler for procedure, so we can check out anywhere you want before we head up there. Well, alright. In that case, great. It's going to be the best tour you've ever been on. By the time it's over, you'll have seen every inch of the ship and met everyone on board. It's been so long since we last saw each other, too. We definitely need to take time to stop by my quarters and get reacquainted. You can now access every area of the Gundog. Select Talk button to review a list of who is available to talk to. If you change your mind, select the Talk button again. You look around the central hub as Cassandra already begins to make her way to your first destination, waving at you to follow. Might be a small ship, you think, but now would be the perfect opportunity to learn its layout and familiarize yourself with where you'll be spending your current duty. Plus, you admit, it wouldn't hurt to meet all the crew. Better to get to know them sooner rather than later. Okay. Move. Well, I don't know where she went. Look. Down that way is a four-sided thoroughfare. You've got fire control, mess hall, and crew quarters. Although I guess you know that already. It's also the main way to access the hangar. The main way? How else do you access the hangar? How else? From the outside, obviously. Well, I guess you're not wrong. Okay. You need to take those elevators to get to either the bridge or the sick bay. The bridge is at the top of the ship, while the sick bay is located on one of the lower decks. Okay. You take these elevators. Okay. Same thing. Two elevators both go the same way. Alright, there we go. If we head that way, we can get to the armory, the main engine rooms, and engineering too. Okay. Talk. You know, it's kind of funny now that you think about it. What is? This area is called the Central Hub, but to be honest, the only places you can get to straight away from here are the airlock, sick bay, or the bridge. Well, it's right in the middle of the ship, so it connects everything together via the two thoroughfares, right? Kind of, but if you want to get to engineering and do some mechanical work, you've got a long way to go that way. Then if you want to do pretty much anything else, you've got to go the other way. The Foreside Thoroughfare is way more of a hub, since you can get to all sorts of places really quickly. Get some snacks from the mess hall, take a break in your quarters, easy. If you want a quick soda whilst taking audit in the hangar, you're there and back in no time. You should move to the bridge to the front of the ship. Sounds to me like you just want a vending machine on the bridge. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. But still, it's a long way to get to the other end of the ship no matter where you're going from. How would you solve that problem? Maybe change the shape of the ship so the center is really the center. It's space, so you could make it a really efficient shape, like a cube or something. A cube? I guess it could be efficient, but I don't think anyone would take a cube-shaped ship seriously. Okay. Use door? Sure. As you head away from the central hub, the noise from the engine becomes quieter and the ambient temperature feels noticeably cooler. The thoroughfare stretches out in front of you with doorways leading to other areas of the ship visible in the distance. And here we are in the fortified... Forfeed? I don't know if that's an F or a T. Fortified thoroughfare. I know. I went to my quarters earlier when I came aboard. Okay. What did you just say? Foreside thoroughfare. No, I don't think you did. 100% heard. Foreside thoroughfare. It's a tricky thing to say. You're trying to say it. You try saying it quickly. Foreside thoroughfare. Fortified thoroughfare. Fortified thoroughfare. Yourself. Call this one a draw, Lieutenant. Okay. Look. Ship's hangar. Wonder if there's even anyone there right now with a crew this small. Mess hall. Wonder what kind of vending machines they have on board. I'll find out what's down there as part of the tour. Okay. Move. More. Hangar. As two of you head down the Foreside thoroughfare and away from the crew quarters, Cassie stops by a double-sized doorway, runs her key card through the reader next to it. Watch your step. She instructs, tapping her knuckles on a large warning sign next to the door that reads Low Gravity Zone. Once the door opens, she heads through, and you follow her into a wide stairwell. It only takes two sets of steps before you can feel yourself grow lighter. By the time you reach the doorway at the bottom, you're almost floating. Okay, big mechs. Stepping into the hangar and onto the catwalk, the first thing that strikes you are the profiles of the two armored frames stood as if on guard facing into the main area of the hangar. Although you fully expected to see them here, every Jovian ship features at least a few. The sight of the armored frame stirs uncomfortable memories in you, and you inadvertently grit your teeth and squeeze the handrail you've grabbed tightly. Ma'am, they're firing on us. There's so many of them. Oh god, ma'am, help. The line of retreat's totally cut off. We can't get back to the ship. Ma'am, what do we do? What do we do? Stop panicking and form up. 3 and 4 on me. We're going to punch a hole through their formation and... Yeah, bad day. Hey, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I think it's just a change in gravity level. Left me a little bit queasy. I know how you feel. I was late for a hangar audit once and rushed down straight after a big lunch. It's moving so fast with a gravity shift my stomach contents couldn't keep up. Gross. Tell me about it. I did everything I could to keep my mouth shut. You know the rule for low gravity zones. What you spew is left up to you. Okay. I wasn't going to be late and on cleanup duty. Speaking of duties, shouldn't there be someone around here? Dalton should be around here somewhere. If you're feeling funny, stay here for a moment. I'll go see if I can find him. Sure. You watch as, despite the 15-meter difference between the catwalk and the hangar floor, Cassie nonchalantly places her 2 hands on the handrail and deftly vaults over it into the emptiness. Thanks to the low gravity, she doesn't fall, but instead kicks off the railing, propelling herself through the air. As Cassandra drifts off, eventually catching on one of the armored frame's legs, and using it to swing herself around to float in a different direction, and you place your elbow on the railing and your head in your hand. You turn your attention back to the stoic features on the armored frame's heads and sigh deeply. Your attention is caught by the cockpit hatch on one of the frames being half open. Looking around, you see everything as you'd expect. Armored frame weapon racks, storage containers, various equipment, all of it restrained appropriately and fastidiously arranged. The cockpit hatch is the only thing that breaks that pattern. It's weird. Can't find him anywhere. I know it's definitely his shift right now, so he should be around here somewhere. Looking past Cassandra at the armored frame with the ajar cockpit hatch, a thought strikes you. I think I might have an idea. Follow me. You carry out the same vaulting maneuver that Cassie had performed to kick off towards the huge machine's cockpit. Once close enough, you grab a hold of its arm and pull yourself up towards the open hatch. A few seconds later, Cassie appears beside you, and you both notice the sound of gentle snoring coming from within the cockpit. Well, Lieutenant Commander, I think this is an operations issue, so I'll let you handle it. Leaving the discipline up to me again, huh? Cassandra nimbly clambers up the armored frame, positioning herself right above the cockpit. Bracing herself on the machine's chest, she brings her heel down sharply and repeatedly on the armor. Cadet Grange, attention! You hear a muffled scream from within the cockpit, followed by a dull thud, a string of muttered cursing, and then finally a figure emerges from the cockpit. Ma'am? I was just checking the calibrations on the AF. I got some feedback that... Oh, it's just you, Commander Quinn. Excuse me, Cadet? Just? Is that how you address a superior officer, Cadet? Oh, ma'am. No, ma'am. I was not expecting to see you in the hangar, ma'am. Okay, you can tone it down a bit, Dalton. Yes, ma'am? Good enough, I suppose. Anyway, Cadet, this is Lieutenant Pig, ship's security officer. Sir. Cadet Dalton Grange, junior engineer. Good to meet you, Cadet. Looks like they've got you working hard. Looks like... Oh, no, sir. Well, that is yes, sir. But not so hard, I'm falling asleep. No, sir. I was recalibrating the sensor array on the... Take it easy, Cadet. We've all taken a nap in a cockpit in our lives. Well, of course we never took cockpit naps with the chief giving us our orders, so you probably need to get back on with whatever you were doing, huh? I totally forgot. She's gonna kill me. Good kid, right? I feel sorry for him already. Okay, well, that's a half an hour. So that's all the time we got for this demo. Okay, so I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't... I think this is more like a visual novel. If we're the security officer, we're probably going to be doing detective work. So I'd imagine that there's some sort of a mystery that's going to unfold on the ship. But I think I've got a good enough look to see that this probably isn't the type of game for me. But hopefully you've enjoyed it, and if you're interested, you can make your decision for yourself about whether you want it or not. Anyway, thanks for coming. Hope you're enjoying this you enjoyed this demo playthrough. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.